Okay.
All right, so welcome everybody. Thank you for coming out on a really rainy evening to join us for a discussion group about Ferguson. As you'll see later on in the deck, tomorrow will actually mark the 3-month anniversary since Mike Bron was shot. And we also are probably coming very close to the close of the grand jury investigation. So even though it seems like it's been a while, this is actually pretty timely. I'm glad that you guys took some time out of your very busy academic schedules just to kind of sit for a minute and reflect on things that are important in our world. As we think about WheeLock and what the mission of WheeLock is, it really behooves us not only to study what is happening in our books and our classes, but to study what is happening in our streets and our halls of justice. So that's what we're going to take a little time to do tonight. We're going to start out with some great presentations from a section of media and race that has been looking at this issue. So we're going to hear from Natalie in just a second. We're going to see a video, and then we're going to dig into the case. If you need to move around, if you need to go grab a cookie or get a drink, feel free. We'll probably have people coming in and out throughout the presentation as we go in between class times. So we might see some people go, and hopefully we'll see some people come as well. So don't worry about that. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Natalie. Is that right? And she's going to give you a brief presentation, so please give her a very warm welcome.
So I'm Natalie, as Susan told. I'm from India. I am an OCD student, and I'm basically here to complete my university transfer program. So that's why I'm here in WheeLock. Before talking about the Ferguson case, I'd like to talk a bit about our media classes with Dan. Every class with Dan, we get so much to learn about the facts we are surprisingly devoid of. Every session comes up with amazing facts and immense knowledge that one in today's world should mandatorily have. It simply blows our head off. Our heads are literally forced to think about it and apply that in our real lives. This is very important to us because we actually don't realize that how much media around us, without even realizing this, influence a lot. Media literacy is an effective way to apply critical thinking skills to a wide range of both social and racial issues. Being a media literate and knowing how to analyze media is the need of our time. Moving on to the Ferguson case, shooting of Michael Bron occurred on August 9, 2014 in the city of Ferguson, Missouri. Mike was an 18-year-old teenager shot fatally by a white police officer, Darren Wilson. This shooting and resultant protest receives considerable amount of attention in the country and abroad. This was merely another case that just got added to the pages of many other such cases reported on racial grounds. According to the stats, 68% of Ferguson population is black and 94% of population is white. Police is white. As estimated, 86% of car pullovers are for black population. The white municipal government finances nearly 1/4 of their revenues by the penalties and fines paid by the black portion of population. This is so disheartening and to a huge extent disappointing to see how much racism is still dragged in this modern world where people claim to have as wide broad thinking as ocean, and still how some innocent people have to face its consequences at the cost of their lives. Nothing happens because of a factor. It simply originates because of a series of frustrations that eventually break down our opponent. Michael Bron's death was a catalyst that speeded up the tension and complexes on both the sides in the city of Ferguson. Functions of media are some or the other way applicable in this case too. Starting with surveillance. Surveillance discloses threats that affects the value of society. Of course, this like all the times affected the values, in fact to some extent worsened it in both the sides. Correlation. Correlation means how different part of society respond differently. We easily spotted the difference between the response from black community and from white community. Transmission. The racial heritage is passed from one generation to another. Now a unit later apparent. Issues like this are discussed that get cemented in pedigree of families and stays alive for long. like Fox News dramatically presented this serious piece of news in a totally biased and random way, as if it was nothing, and that people are hyping it unnecessarily. Economic service. I repeat, the white municipal government finances nearly 1/4 of their revenues through the penalties and fine paid by the black portion of population. In the end, I just like to say that racism is that parasite that creates disparity in humans, amongst the humans, that ultimately results in violence. Thank you.
Darren, can you get the film up to play? Darren will set it up.